Hey you guys, so I am back with another video. What's up? So I decided to come to you guys and just talk to you about a couple of things that's been on my mind, because I really haven't been on my channel. I haven't been consistent, and there's a reason why, and I thought I should just be honest with you guys, because then maybe it'll be easier for me to come on my channel and just be myself instead of just waiting until I feel like myself. So as you guys know, I am pregnant. I made 3 months already, and it has been a difficult time. I'm not gonna front like, you know, things have been peaches and cream, because they really haven't. My emotions are literally like that, and one minute I am happy, one minute I am okay and optimistic, then the next minute I'm just like, what the am I feeling, you know? And it has been very emotional for me, and I'm a very emotional person, so it's just like, I hope you guys can hear me, because I know that water, it could be distracting, but it's therapeutic for me. Another thing is my attention span is almost non-existent, because I could barely stay on topic. Like, my mind is literally running a mile a minute all the time, and sometimes I can't get my ideas together. I can't get my thoughts together, and I want to give you guys the best creative content that I could get. And I'm gonna be honest with you, since moving to Florida, things have not been smooth at all. I'm sorry if that's something that I portrayed to you guys, but the honest truth is, it's been really hard. Like, I came out here, and the first mistake I did was depending on someone else. I felt like what I should have done was just come out here on my own and just do it on my own, no matter how hard it would have been. But you know, I was naive, I guess, and just thinking that everything would just work out. And I had to basically go back home and, you know, figure out a plan, because the first time that I came out here, I had no plan. I came out here on an impulse, and I was just so tired of things going on at home that I was just like, I need something new or I'm going to lose my mind. So that's basically what I did. I want to apologize for me not looking directly in the camera, you guys. I know that's important, but one thing for me is when I think I have to look everywhere, I don't know what it is, but yeah, back to the conversation. When I first came out here, it was really hard. I left my family, I left my friends. I got into argument with friends. You know, it wasn't an easy process. Like, I had friends that were mad at me because I didn't come live with them, and it's just like, I did what was best for me at the time, and that caused a lot of conflict within myself, because I was starting to think that I truly did something wrong. But the truth of the matter is, if you're my friend, you will be happy no matter where I go. You will want the best for me, and you'll let me know, listen, if it don't work out, you know, you can always come here. But that wasn't the vibe that I got. So coming out here, I came out here literally on my own with my last paycheck, with the idea that I was gonna do it no matter how hard it was gonna be. And that's exactly been my mindset. It didn't matter how many times I fell. It didn't matter how many times people tried to discourage me, bring me down. I didn't let that come in my way, and I had a lot of that, trust me. It got to the point that I really was about to give up, but I told myself, Lexi, you did all of this for what? You did all of this to just give up? You can't give up. So when I did go back home, I went back home for maybe a couple of weeks, and yeah, when I went home, it was just like, I remembered exactly why I left, and that made me even motivated to leave, because the toxicity was just too much for me. It's something that I want to talk about on my channel, but I don't know if I'm doing it for the right reasons, which is why I haven't spoke about it. But I think it's very important for me to be very transparent with you guys. Like, this channel was supposed to be a channel about positivity, uplifting, and just doing things that made me feel. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not always in that mood. I'm not always feeling positive and optimistic. There's days when I'm just like, oh, fuck this shit, and I'm done. But you know, I didn't want to portray that to you guys. I wanted to always be positive, because I always thought that, you know, people want to see a positive person. They're attracted to high energy, but you know, I don't get to see a lot of people that are like me. So I was starting to feel like maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the ungrateful one. Maybe I'm the negative one. But the truth is, everything I'm feeling is normal. I packed up and left a place that I've knew my whole life. I moved to a new place, a new city, a new town with people that I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I'm proud of myself, because I never thought I would ever have the confidence, the balls to do something like that. I'm always afraid of trying new things. I'm always afraid of stepping out of my comfort zone, and coming to Florida was literally stepping outside of my comfort zone. And you know, when I got here, I had really high expectations. Like, I was literally on a natural high that I didn't want to smoke no weed. I literally felt like I was on top of the world. I could accomplish anything. But you know, a couple of things happened, which I shouldn't have been too surprised, because life happens and I should have been prepared, but I wasn't, because like I said, I came here on an impulse. But like I said, that didn't stop me. It was a minor setback for a major comeback, and like, look where I'm at now. So I'm really grateful for all that I've experienced, but at the same time, it caused a lot of pain, a lot of trauma for me, and it's really hard for me to move forward without acknowledging what has happened. You guys have been a part of my journey since the very beginning, and I appreciate it so much. And I think the best thing that I could do is just be transparent and honest, not only with myself, but with you guys as well. Life will hit you hard, but how you respond, how you react, determines how everything else is gonna go. And that is something that I'm learning to accept, which isn't as easy as it sounds, but that's something that I'm definitely trying to accomplish. That's my new goal at the moment. Another thing I would like to say is, I feel like I've been rambling, but I haven't really, I don't know if I actually said everything that I wanted to say, but I just want to let you guys know it has been a hard time for me. It's been a hard time moving out here because I no longer feel like I had family. A lot of things were going on back at home that I just couldn't understand. I'm the type of person where I could see things from all points of views, but I couldn't understand why this person was doing the things they was doing to me. You know, it got to the point that I was so uncomfortable that I didn't feel like I could stay where I was. And the people around me were like invalidating my emotions, invalidating my feelings, to the point that I was starting to think that maybe I was the problem, which is the reason why I came out here. And then when I went back, I noticed that it was not me. Like, it couldn't have been me, because the things are still going on and I'm not even there. So it was just like, that's when I came to the realization, like, I made the best move for myself. I was getting homesick to the point that I would wake up sometimes sad, because I'm used to the city life. I'm used to getting on the train, getting on the subway, getting on the bus, and just going wherever I want to go. But out here, you honestly need a car, especially in this part of town. Yeah, there is no transportation around here. Where I initially was, you could take the bus. Even though it took hours to get to where you wanted to go, I still felt like I had some type of freedom because I could get up and go. But one thing is, guys, I don't have my license and I don't know how to drive. So I do definitely have to depend on other people to get me around. And whether that be Uber, whether that be a friend, it's just like, I'm not used to depending on people. When I want to get up and go, if you guys don't notice my channel, I get up and go. And I'm a very spontaneous person that I don't think about things. I'm like, oh, I wake up today and I'm like, oh, this is what I want to do today. This is what I'm going to do today. And out here, you know, I'm able to do that, but I'm very limited. And that was putting a little dent on my emotions, because I'm just used to being more self-sufficient and independent. But I'm learning that I need to accept the change, because if I really look at the negative, then I'm going to be in a negative headspace. All I'm going to see is the negativity. But if I put myself in this positive position and I try to look at the good and be grateful for where I'm at, I could see that I'm actually in a better place. Like, no lie, New York City is amazing and I could do the things that I want to do. There's more activities. I'm able to get around, but I also couldn't take the chaos. I couldn't take the rudeness. I couldn't take how I just felt stuck, how I felt like I could never elevate. You know, New York is very, very expensive. I feel like you're paying an arm and a leg to just live somewhere, and it's just like you come out here and you could pay that much and get so much more. You know what I'm saying? And it just was like, I had to learn to accept the fact that I could always visit New York, but as for living, it's not something that's possible for me right now, especially living on my own. And now that I'm having a baby, I want to be self-sufficient. I want to be able to get it on my own. Nothing is wrong with depending on the government, you know, for assistance to get up on your feet. But I don't want the government in my business. And I just know how shady they are and the whole point of their system. And I just don't want to be a part of it. So I wanted to make sure that I did what I needed to do so I could do it on my own. That's one thing about me, is a lot of people were doubting me, and that made me want to prove them even wrong and prove myself even more that I could do this. I'm not gonna lie, this transition I think would have been easier if I had the support of my family and my friends, you know. And when I say my family, like, I just have my mom, and sometimes I feel like our relationship is a little rocky. So, you know, I love my mom. My friends, like I mentioned in the beginning, I lost my friends over the most pettiest things. And one thing about me is I don't feel like a friendship should end over the most pettiest things. Like, I will come back and I will apologize and try to make things right, but I've noticed that I'm always the one that's doing that. And then we get back into this friendship, and it's like I feel like I'm the only one that really cares, and I had to let go of a lot of things. And what the fuck? This duck is in the pool. I don't mean to be rude to the duck, but what? Like, this is not a pond, honey. This is not a fucking pond. Get the You see this? You see this? This duck has to go. Oh, he better get the fuck going. Look at him flying the fuck away. Don't play with me. Anyways, I'm not abusive towards animals. I wasn't gonna hurt him. I just wanted to let him know that he couldn't be in there. But back to what I was saying. I think that if I would have had the support of my friends and family, I think it would have been easier, because I would have had someone to talk to, someone to vent to, and just express myself. But before I left New York, I had a therapist, and even though I moved here, you know, she has fought to remain my therapist, because if you move to another state, you're not allowed to have a therapist in another state, because if something happens to you, there's nothing that they could really do. But she made the effort to try to remain my therapist, and I appreciate that, because without her, I don't know what I would have done. Like, sometimes I just need to vent and be vulnerable, and I feel like I can't really do that with people. I've always felt like that, like a child. Like, people will use your weakness against you, and I always felt like if you embrace your weakness, no one can use it against you. But sometimes it's okay to be vulnerable, you guys. Sometimes it's okay to cry. Sometimes it's okay to just be sad, be mad, be angry, because those are real emotions, and those were emotions that I wasn't used to having. I know this sounds pretty weird, but growing up, I never let things bother me. I always usually brushed them off, and always told myself I wouldn't let external factors change me. But that changed when I was sexually assaulted. You know, that really messed with my head. That's not something that I could really talk about too much now, but that was something that really messed with me. Not only that, I just felt like I couldn't quite cope with it, because no one would speak about it with me. Like, I told my family and friends, and it was just like they wanted to know what happened, but that was it. It was never no further conversations. And that's what I mean about the fact that I didn't feel like I had support. Like, I had friends, but I felt like they weren't really my friends, obviously, because she got mad at me because I moved somewhere instead of moving with her. That really hurt me as well. Like, I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of hurt, a lot of anger right now, and I'm learning how to deal with it, because I'm not smoking weed to, you know, cope with the pain. I'm actually having to deal with these emotions, and this is something that in New York I would smoke religiously to avoid these feelings, and it's like now I gotta deal with them, and it's not easy, you guys. Like, I see why people like go crazy, because these emotions are really, really intense, and I am not used to them, and I don't know how to cope with them. I felt like I never had the best coping skills. I just always told myself, like, I'm not gonna let this bother me, I'm not gonna let this bother me. And it was like eventually this shit caught up, and I exploded, and I became somebody that I didn't like. And that's the truth. I'm being honest with you guys. I feel like I'm rambling, but this is me venting. I became very angry with everyone. I blamed everyone around me, because I felt like at some point they all played a part in my depression. They all played a part in my unhappiness. And it was just like, these people are supposed to be the people that I could go to for support, and I couldn't. And one thing about me is, if I don't understand something and I want to know something, I'm going to Google. And Google will always say, oh, you know, connect with your family and friends, find support from those around you. And it's like, what if you don't have those support systems? Like, what do you do? And it was just like, that made me feel like even more shitty, because it's like, why is my life this bad? Like, that's how it started to feel. But a friend of mine had bought me a book called The Power is in Your Attitude, and that book really showed me, like, no matter your circumstances, you always have to have a positive attitude, because if you do well in your sadness, it will like overpower you. It will become your reality. It'll be all you can see, all you can think about, all you will feel. So I'm learning that the power is in my thoughts, in my actions, in my words. And you know, even though I'm aware of those things, sometimes I get in those days where I'm just like, what the fuck, I can't do this shit. And it's just like, Lexi, don't think those things. And sometimes I feel like I'm lying to myself, but you have to understand, you had years to learn those bad behaviors or bad habits. It's gonna just as long, if not more, to unlearn that. And you have to be patient with yourself. Just like you would be with the child, you need to be the same way with yourself. And I've learned that's the best way to be with yourself. Tap into your inner child and talk to yourself as if you were talking to your younger self. That's the best way I could put it. What else can I say? I don't want to ramble too much. But I just wanted you guys to know where I was in my mental state and just why I haven't been consistent. I felt it was very important for me to be honest with you guys. I hope that I do post this video because it's very important for other people to see this vulnerability and this struggle, because I know that I don't get to see it often, and that made me kind of fall more into depression because I felt like I was the only one. But sometimes, I don't know if this is a bad thing, but it feels good to know that you're not the only one suffering. I don't know. But you guys, I think I said enough, and I think I'm gonna end this video with thanking you guys for supporting me, because honestly, you guys, I feel like I know that I could be so much better, but in time I will heal, and in time things will just, you know, fall in place. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Everything is happening the way it should be, according to my efforts, and I believe that things are just gonna work out for me, and I want to keep that in mind. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for supporting me and always showing me endless love. It means so much to me, you guys. Like, my channel is literally another safe haven for me, and I want you guys to know that I'm not gonna give up, not this easy, and I'm gonna continue to bring you guys love. So with that being said, peace.